The following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates. It does not necessarily reflect the views of WDEL or Forever Media.
Well, it should.
The Rick Jensen Show on 101.7 FM, 1150 AM, WDEL, and streaming to your smart speaker and mobile device.
All right, so on the phone is Dan Simon, Dan White and Associates. These are financial planners specializing in retirement income, and I happen to be a very, very happy camper with all these guys. Got to meet Dan White many, many years ago, and Dan Simons is another brilliant financial planner with these guys. Every Wednesday after the news at 1:30, we have a tip, but guess what? Phillies this week. So I said, well, how about Tuesday? And Dan said, sure. And then Dan said, sure. And so Dan's on. Dan Simon. How are you, buddy?
I am well. First place Phillies too, Rick, right?
I know, right?
How you doing today?
Yeah. I heard somebody say the Padres lost to the Phils on radio. It wasn't the station. And I said, no, you idiot. The Phils beat the Padres. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, they won last night. Wheeler had 10 strikeouts or something like that, I think. Right?
Beautiful. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful. So the big, beautiful bill, speaking of beautiful, the big, beautiful bill passed. And now you don't have to pay taxes on your overtime, Dan.
That's great to hear. I haven't read through the 10,000 pages or whatever it is in there yet, but for those working hard, working overtime, I guess that's a nice benefit for them.
And tips, no tax on your tips now.
That's right. That's right.
How much you make in tips every year? Because I think they limit this. They max out like 20 or 25,000.
Zero. We're not allowed to take gratuities, unfortunately.
Oh, well, here's a tip. Get a job at a restaurant. There you go. But
that's right. We were talking about that earlier. Some of those guys, and this is the season for them, right? It's money-making season.
Oh, yeah, man, especially at the beach. How about this? You can deduct up to $10,000 of auto loan interest. Auto loan interest is in this thing. I thought that's kind of remarkable. Also, at Sign of the Times, we have a whole lot of homeless people in Delaware living in their cars.
Yeah, not a good time of the year to be doing that.
No, it's really not. Let's see. Also, I don't know if they adopted the House $4,000 deduction or the Senate $6,000 deduction. I have to take a look. But if you're a senior, you get this automatic extra bonus, and it's like $4,000 or $6,000. So we'll figure that out. I'd just take a look at that. I don't know which it is, but anyway. It's
so
remarkable.
Much for simplifying the tax code.
Right? I know. I'm with you. You know what? 10%, 15% across the board. Boom. We're done with that. I'd love that. So what? Speaking of which, you guys are always dealing with Social Security and taxes and the tax code. What is your tip for today?
Yeah, so summer season, I look at it as the spending season, right? Whether you're working, whether you're retired, I've found that folks tend to spend a little bit more money in the summer. So where's the income coming from? And I wanted to talk about Social Security. It's on the top of most retirees and most soon-to-be retirees' mind. It serves as a lifeline for millions. We know that. But experts warn that the program faces serious financial challenges in the years ahead, with looming shortcomings in the early 2030s, Rick, which is hard to believe, but that's 5 years from now. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to discuss what the experts are looking at. So 6 Social Security changes experts predict could come in the next decade, which, snap of a finger, that'll be here before we know it. So we're all aware that, the trust fund reserves projected to run a shortfall in the early 2030s. Where projected benefits could be reduced by, approximately 20%, which certainly no one wants to see. So I always just kind of look at it and explain Social Security as it's a disease. It's a disease that we're aware of, but nobody wants to tend to it and try to address the problem and fix it because it is political in nature. We know that elected officials are the ones that ultimately determine the outcome of Social Security because it all needs to be approved. So some of the things the quote-unquote experts are looking at to restore solvency down the road are really 6 main agenda items. One is raising the full retirement age, FRA, or the PIA age, primary insurance amount. Currently today, if you were born after 1959, So 1960 or later, the full retirement age is set at 67. Several proposals would gradually increase that number from 68, 69, or even out to 70 for future retirees. So the goal is there. The move is, a way to make it account for longer lifespans and help shore up, Social Security's finances. So that's the first thing they're looking at. Second is, modifying the payroll tax cap. They've been gradually doing this. Or even potentially eliminating it, which, hard to imagine that would happen. But, at this point today, only earnings up to $168,600 are currently taxed for Social Security purposes, which, ultimately leaves higher income earners. Their additional income over and above that, it's untaxed from Social Security purposes. So there's been studies, there's been proposals to push that up to potentially $400,000. Could it happen? It could happen. Is it likely to happen? I don't know. It remains to be seen. So that's kind of the second agenda item there, Rick.
They have to do something. I just said they have to do something, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are going to need to be some changes made. Third, potential talks about adjusting the benefit formula, so how they go about calculating benefits. At this point, a cut, right? The plan will cut benefits for higher earners and boost them for lower income earners. So, when we think about that, the current formula is really progressive. It replaces a higher percentage of income for low earners than it does for higher income earners. So plans, proposed reducing benefits for higher income earners while moderately boosting them for lower income, beneficiaries. Is that going to ruffle the feathers of some people? Of course it would, right? So that's something they're talking about studying. Who needs Social Security benefits more, the higher income earner benefit or the lower income earner benefit? I always look at Social Security as to how it was structured initially. It's a social program by nature, designed to keep the elderly, the retirees in this country with food on the table, lights on, and air conditioning in times like these. Not designed to be the pension, however, certainly if implemented appropriately by maximizing benefits and coordinating with spousal benefits and other income sources, it can certainly serve as a pension-like income for some people. I mean, I see couples that come in from time to time, and between the two of them, if both spouses worked, you could be seeing combined benefits of over $8,000 a month with cost of living adjustments built in. So that's the other thing they're looking at, revising the cost of living adjustment. The way Social Security benefits are adjusted for inflation, could potentially see an impact over the next decade. So what CPI number are they using to determine those benefits? If they can change that figure, it could reduce future potential cost of living adjustments, right? Which ultimately doesn't keep you up with inflation. Which to me, right, when we go about it from a planning standpoint, it really shines a lot of light on the benefits of deferring your benefits because those cost of living adjustments do compound over the period of time, especially for delayed benefits.
Exactly. And I know that. I know that because you guys taught me that. So, yeah, absolutely.
You listened and learned. I love it.
Appreciate
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And then the final two is increasing the payroll tax. So
that's not a very popular idea. That's not very popular. No.
No, not popular at all. And again, somebody's got to stand on a platform and say, this is how we're going to do it. This is what you're going to have to give up to get more security. I don't see many people voting for that or being behind a plan for that.
Oh, no. That's how you get yourself. That's how you get yourself primaried and you lose the next election. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last study is taxing benefits more heavily. So at this point, maximum taxation on Social Security benefits is up to 85% of what you receive. If they increase that number, it brings more money into the system. Does it actually go to the Social Security Trust, right? And, once again, who's going to vote and be on board for more taxes on your Social Security benefits, where most people are like, why am I even paying taxes on my Social Security benefits?
So keep in mind, I think the battle cry amongst most seniors is take it from somebody else. Take it from somebody else. Yeah. And that's the way people really think about it. That's what they say.
Yeah, take it from the workers. We're retired now,
Right.
But I think ultimately it's got to be some type of compromise. I know, right? There is a savings crisis in this country. Maybe not specifically in the demographic or the area or geographic region, rather, that we're in. But by and large, I mean, people aren't adequately funded for a lengthy retirement. And that's the big concern, right? People are living longer than they used to. Social Security is a baseline income stream. But over and above that, is Social Security getting enough for most people to not only just live on, but be able to live, the way they've grown accustomed to while they're working? And the answer to that, sadly, for most people is no. So what do we know about Social Security at this point? I know that Social Security is always going to provide more tax-efficient income for the retiree than drawing income from an IRA, drawing income from a pension, taking withdrawals from a 401k, because we know those income sources are going to be 100% taxable at the federal level, where Social Security benefits are only taxable up to 85% of what you receive on the high end. So leveraging Social Security, leveraging other retirement income sources, and not consolidating, but coordinating a plan for retirement income that involves drawing assets from retirement accounts that individuals have accumulated on their own, and coordinating that with Social Security benefits to create the most tax-efficient income stream for them in retirement is always of value.
No, it is. It's always. That my calculation is okay. What do I not have to buy every month, put more in retirement so I can live off the interest and do that sort of thing? That's always been my hope. So.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, Rick, I hear the break-even age on Social Security and take it now and invest it because you're gonna earn 7% in the market. Well, you're not guaranteed to earn 7% in the market. What you could put in there could go down, and it really all comes back to the facts of the matter. Is the decision to file for Social Security is, in my opinion, too important for guesswork, and it really should be coordinated with all other income sources, spousal planning, and as well as the need for income now as well as in the future.
Oh, you guys are very...
So there's a lot that goes into it.
You're very good at that, too. By the way, you can get a hold of Dan Simon with Dan White & Associates, 888-690-8820. Give him a call. It won't charge you. Just sit down and have a conversation about your goals, your needs, and strategies. 888-690-8820. Sunday morning at 7 a.m., Dan White brings On the Money. What's he talking about this Sunday morning at 7?
He is going to be discussing taking a look at summer interest rates. So I believe Chairman Powell came out. He was over in Portugal for a whatever they call those things they do. He was speaking over there, and said potential rate cut maybe in July. So we'll see. And you'll tune in, get Dan White's opinion on it.
All right. Thanks so much, Dan Simon at Dan White and Associates. Thanks for the tip. Appreciate it, man.
All right, Rick, take care. Thanks for having us, and have a happy 4th, all right?
All right, go Phils.